procedural and some of them are safety things. Let's do the safety things first. First of all, if you have hair that can go in a ponytail, put it in a ponytail, okay? So I'm gonna put mine back once we walk over there. If you have really long hair, put it in a bun. I'm gonna tell you a quick story. It's not to scare you, but it's just to tell you why this is a rule. I had a student one year, she had super long hair. She had it back in a ponytail, but not in a bun. And she was bound and determined to get a project done on the wheel all by herself without my help. So she's hovered over the wheel, she's trying really hard, and her ponytail fell over her shoulder, okay? Fell over her shoulder and hit the clay that was spinning on her wheel, okay? So her hair essentially got all tangled up in her clay. I stopped the wheel real quick. She grabbed her hair and pulled up, and like clay, everything came up with her hair, okay? So she got it out. She basically washed her hair in my sink and then had to go take an algebra test. She was okay, but we don't want that to happen. I've also had a student, same thing happen, and it pulled so tight that she missed school the next day because she had a really bad headache from it pulling on her hair, okay? So both situations, everyone was just fine, but there is a part of the wheel that's attached. If your hair got stuck around that part, it's not something that is detachable, and so that could really hurt. So total safety issue, not trying to scare you, but if you have really long hair that if it flipped over, it would hit your clay, put it up in a bun, okay? So that's safety issue number one. Second thing, if you have rings, take your rings off. Not necessarily a safety issue, but one, they'll get caked in clay. And second of all, as the clay is spinning on the pottery wheel, it's gonna make marks from your ring in the clay, and it's gonna just make throwing on the wheel. So term that you're gonna hear me say, throwing on the wheel, are you gonna throw today? Throwing is just the term that we use to talk about making something on the wheel. So I'm not actually talking about throwing anything. It's just the term that we use when we talk about making a project on the wheel, okay? So if I say, hey, are you gonna throw today? I'm talking about, are you gonna make a project on the wheel today, okay? So when we're throwing, the clay is spinning on the wheel, and we don't want those rings to make indents, okay? So take off your rings. I recommend not leaving them at your table just because they could get pushed accidentally. I would say rings are the number one thing that I have a whole pile of at the end of the semester that are unclaimed because you forget, you take them off. So just try to remember, if you're gonna throw on the wheel, take them off, put them in a pocket, put them in a safe space in your backpack, but you don't want rings on. Bracelets and watches are kind of at your discretion. It's not gonna mess anything up on the wheel, but they are probably gonna get a little bit dirty. If you don't care, that's fine. But you may wanna take bracelets and watches off as well, okay? I think those are all of our safety things. Other things that we wanna do before we sit down at the wheel. If I open this cabinet here where you have gotten your building boards throughout the semester, on the bottom shelf are black plastic. They're called bats. I honestly have no idea why they're called bats. They just are. And we've got 3 different sizes. Some of you have used these as building boards, and that's totally fine, but they are actually made for the wheel. So we've got 3 different options. We have a square bat, okay? So the wheels are circular, but the square bats do fit on there. I really like these ones because they take up the least amount of space in your shelf space. However, some people do not like watching a square spin on a circle. I'm gonna do one demo with the square, one demo with the circle, so you can kind of see. I just like them because they take up the least amount of space, okay? So that's an option. Our next size is a 12-inch, okay? Our wheels are a 14-inch circle. 12 still fit, so it doesn't quite take up the entire wheel. I like these ones again. They're a little bit smaller. You do not need anything larger than this one to make your bowl. However, if there is none of those left, we do have a 14-inch. So 14 inch is gonna take up the entire top of the wheel. They're huge. You don't really need these for your bowl. Your bowls are not gonna take up that much space, but if this is all that's left, it's totally fine to use them, okay? All right, so I've already got my bats over there. A couple other things that you want to make sure that you do before you sit on the wheel. So if we go over here is kind of our wheel dome. There is a clipboard with a sign-up sheet and there's a dry erase marker. The wheels are numbered on the front with the pink tape. So 1 is over there, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, okay? If you know you are going to throw on the wheel, you can sign up as soon as you walk in my room, but it is first come, first serve, okay? If you are not sure if you're gonna throw, don't sign up. What I don't want to happen is you run in here, you sign up, and then you don't actually throw on the wheel that period, and then it's just sitting here empty where somebody else could use it. So if you know you're gonna throw on the wheel, you can go ahead and sign up. And then it's really important that you actually sit at the wheel that you sign up for, okay? Because you're responsible for cleaning that wheel, you're responsible for all of the tools at that wheel, so I need to know who is actually sitting at each wheel, okay? So you're gonna sign up. The other thing that's over here are aprons. So these aprons are actually specifically made for wheel throwing. They're a little bit bigger than the white ones over there, and they actually have a split leg, and you can actually tie it to your leg if you really want. There is enough, 1 for each wheel, so there should be 10 of these. And I would recommend it. You don't have to put on an apron, but like I said, wheel throwing is fairly messy. So I would recommend a wheel apron, and it's gonna keep you as clean as possible, okay? So last thing that we need to do, we need to get water. So at each wheel, there is a big bucket, and then there are tools. Dump the tools out. You need to fill this water pretty full of water. Temperature does not matter. So it's all what you would rather stick your hands into. I prefer warm water, but you're gonna be sticking your hands in the water quite a bit. So get the temperature that you would prefer sticking your hands into, okay? I've already done that over here. I've already signed up. I am going to be at this wheel right here. Here's what I need from you guys. You can feel free to take the stools down. I think the best spots are looking over the wall at me, so you can fill in over here. You can take these stools down and sit at these stools. I should not have anyone too far away from me. You must be able to see what I'm doing, okay? So, go ahead and come over. I'm gonna put my hair up and my apron on, fill in, make sure that you can see what I'm doing.